Yes, here we go. Welcome back, everybody. We're back in Rust. We thought we'd do some power surge type stuff, do some building power surge, as it is coming. We know it's going to happen on PTB sometime in December. At least that's the official word now. So yeah, I thought we kind of, roll into it, answer questions, do some builds, work out some ideas. We might try to build this out again. We're going to call this the crowbar. This is going to be well, it doesn't have to have electricity on it, but it is built for it. And this will be the crowbar, and this is a 2x2 terrain bunker, and it is hot. If you like the wedge, then I think you'll like this. What's up, what's up? What's up, Noah? Killstrike, we have Finn J. Hello and welcome. Hello. Welcome. Solo vault base. We have the arrow that's cooking. We have all kinds of stuff going on here. We'll pin the arrow for now because that one's pretty hot. If you have access to Builder's Paradise, it's a good build out there. Show me a good solo forest base. I'm not sure what would be a good forest base. Like just a good solo base. What constitutes a forest base? How are you? I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Nicholas. Nicholas. Hello. Welcome. Hi. Yes. We would have done aim training, but I didn't start the queue early enough, and I didn't want the stream starting super late. So, we'll probably end up doing it tomorrow. And I'll try to get in the queue earlier, because you're talking like at least an hour to wait. You know what I mean? What's up? It says, is a BP wipe this Thursday. Are you talking about main branch? Talking about monthly or weekly? What's up? Topical Q. We got Maddie. It says, what's up, Jay? What's up? It says, when do you think the next, will be next? The gun and console? I have no idea. Both wipe, right? Soft wipe, yeah. But there's a full wipe for, weekly. Little motor just kind of ramp. Aim training service take like 2 hours. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't know about that. Da-da-da. Monthlies or softies? I just did a video on it today. I think so. Was it today? At least it was released today. Anyways, we can go into a trap base. We could do some builds. We could do basic electricity questions. What do you guys want to see? If there's no comment on that, we'll just kind of jump into whatever. I'm in the aim training queue. This has been waiting 30 minutes. He says that I'm next. Oh, nice. Good. Good. Yeah, yeah. What's up, Kyle? It says, that one hides, but is it strong maybe? Wait, what? Finjay. We just answered your question, buddy. Heli base build? I mean, yes, but also we don't have access to that yet. It says, how do Tesla traps work? Bingo. Kyle's got it. Okay, this is how they work. So do you know when mill tunnels are coming to council, yo? I have not heard anything. I would imagine when we see like those tunnels. I'm sorry, mining tunnels. I think that's when we'll see it. Okay, so Tesla coils. Good question, sir. Okay, so, I don't know if we'll get this right away. This could be on like stage 2 or whatever. If you didn't know, we're going to be in multiple stages for this. It says, when's the power update? Hopefully, well, remember, it's going to be on PTB first. It's going to be in stages, and it's most likely going to occur in December. If they surprise us and get it like early, then, I mean, I think we're all about it. But I'm getting the impression that they're like, hey, it's going to be a little bit into December. That's where I'm setting my expectations until they tell us otherwise. Main branch weekly is BP wipe. Correct. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some of these pieces down here. We'll put this down. And do we have a switch? Yes, we do. Okay, so what's interesting with these guys is they will kill you slowly, but they also slow you down. So I have invincibility on, so that's good for me. But they also take durability damage as well, so you gotta be careful. They're expensive. They take tech trash. Like I said, I don't think we'll get this in stage 1, but I could be wrong. You should be able to daisy chain these if I'm not mistaken. Oh. Oh, you cannot. Okay. Ouch. Oh wow, these use 35. My goodness. It says I don't really want power. It's just gonna make it more of a pain. I don't think so. I think it's gonna help a lot. It's gonna help more than you think. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to go this route. I thought for sure this had like a daisy chain feature, but I guess not. Okay, let's color code these then. Plop, plop, plop. I guess we'll just do 3 then. Yeah, so really on a small battery, you're looking at really you can only do 1, right? Because if the max output is 50, then you'd have to have a larger battery. Interesting. So you'd really have to play it smart, or have multiple batteries. Okay, so what's going to happen is when this is on, see how much slower I'm going? I can't jump. But when you shut these off, look, they took durability damage. Out of 250, we burned off like, what, more than 25? Says, do you think Rust console will get a Black Friday sale? I don't know. I hope so. Says, I want a hazmat skin already. That would be dope. It says, did you see GameLight's Tricon for jumping off the roof and using Tesla coils to not take damage? I saw somebody else do something similar where, like, you can use it in, like, a burst. It was, I think it was the Rabbit guy. But I did see, like, the title for it and stuff. I didn't watch the video. I can only assume it's, like, the same idea. Yeah, the whole idea is, like, as you come down, if that triggers, then it'll stop your fall because it kind of buffers you, but you gotta do it quick. It says, like, what kind of power draw, or can you make it more lethal with more power? Good question. No, it's just like a standard power. It's, like, over time. See, Kyle knows what's up. He's asking the questions. He knows. He's trying to do some damage and make some traps. Smart. But if you have less output, does it slow them? Well, here let's show you. If we have, this is actually gonna split it. Comes out as 100. We'll put a couple down. This will split it yet again. It should falter pretty quickly because that little chain we made there is only 100, and we already have quite a bit on there. $16 is not going to be enough. Oh, scratch that. I guess it does with power, right? Wow, that's interesting. From the splitter, how much is that actually dumping? And that's on 32. I guess when they are underpowered, they do less. I guess that's relatively new, or I was unaware of it. Wow, so that does run underpowered. Interesting. I thought for sure these would just fizzle out. I mean, these are taking mad deeps, but check this out. Like when you repair these, it takes a second. Hang on. Says, do public testing branch gonna wipe? It's going to when we get the power surge stage 1. Nice. Bardom06 says, how do you set up an auto turret? Good question, sir. I got you. Would you like to see just one auto turret? Would you like to see like a setup? It's a good question. Good question. Let's do it. That's why we're here, gentlemen. That's why we're here. So I guess it does scale. Interesting. We should try to underpower it and see what the minimum requirement is for it to actually run. I was going to say I'm starting to like the aim train servers a lot better, it says, on older gens. Oh, okay, nice. So what day is public testing branch? I don't know. We still don't know when electricity is going to hit PTB yet. It can happen any day, so don't get too attached to your loot. Is electricity going to be like how it is on PC? I think eventually once they implement everything, yes. So is Power Surge gonna have to be like it is on PC, like to full scale console? Yes, should be, as far as I know. I don't know what kind of hangups they've been having, so I guess we're kind of at the mercy of like whatever they've got implemented so far. I think the first stage we're gonna have definite like stages of this, and depending on how good or bad it runs. What do you think more monuments will be added? I'm not sure. Can you do the auto turret setup? Yup, yup, yup. I got you, dog. I got you, player. Okay, so what we're looking at is... So for a standard turret, you're looking at... Those take at minimum 10. If you would like to use more of the functionality on there, it's going to be more than 10. We'll just say this is set up outside here. We can add doors and stuff later. So what you really need to do is you need to start with a battery. Medium's probably the best way to go to start because it's one you can purchase. And then it's usually better with like power constraints because then you can, I don't know, if you can do a lot with a medium, that means you can do that much more with a large. And you need a way to collect it. So realistically, in the very beginning, you're probably not going to have a wind turbine. So you're going to want something like solar panels, for sure. I always steer people towards solar panels first and then scale up as you need it. So, okay, we're going to need to collect power. So let's just say you have enough for 2 of these, right? So we'll do one at the morning and one for the afternoon. And we'll use a root combiner. Let's go ahead and give ourselves room here. This is going to be to combine the 2. This is why do you think Facepunch and Double 11 want to cram so much stuff into one update? Is his custom servers coming with it too? Wait, what? Why do you think Facepunch and Double 11 want to cram so much? I don't understand the question. They're different studios. Facepunch made the game, and Double 11's the studio that ports it. A bang. Okay, so in order to take the power from these, realistically, you're going to want to put this inside of the base. So I like to put this on the wall kind of close to the battery. And then I have the wires kind of tucked in under the ceiling, and then they go to the different solar panels. And then you can add more. But I always tell people immediately, as soon as you get solar panels or any kind of like power generation, start to charge a battery immediately. Because it can take a while, especially if you have like 1 solar panel or like 2. Ideally, you want 4 to kind of get things going, but like it's just good to get started. Okay, so like what I like to do here is we'll just take this cable, Since this is yellow, we'll tuck it here. Whoopsie poopsie. I like to tuck it under the panel here. And then we bring it in on the ceiling here. And then bring it over to the root combiner. Like right there. And then we'll make this one, I don't know, green? We'll tuck this in right there. You'd never want to run your cables directly to your device or to your battery from your device, because then people are like, oh, that's where your battery cabinet is? You want to keep them guessing. For the same reason why you don't advertise where your tool cupboard is. It's a bad idea. You can do it, but it's not smart. So then now that these two are being routed together, we can bring it to the battery itself. Ding! And now this bad boy's charging. And yes, you need this type of stuff to charge, as your turret will run for maybe 4 minutes if you don't. So as the day goes on, it's not technically daytime. Let me go ahead and make it daytime. 1 in the afternoon. Oh, no. What am I? It's 1 at night. Man, am I slow today? She says, yeah, it's not so laggy for me. Oh, over on the, what do you call it, the M-Train server? Nice. Okay, so while this is charging during the day, it should take the charge and accumulate these two. So whatever the morning and afternoon solar panels are generating, in this case, we have none. Oh, wait, no. We have 20 and 20. Okay, so we have 40. 40? Maybe 40. Kind of 40? Okay, kind of 20. Anyways, this is charging the battery ever so slowly. And so now what we can do is we can put down a turret. Since the maximum output for this is 50 units of power, we can only have technically 5 turrets, but really it's 4 because each piece or component is going to take a certain amount of power. So this will take a unit of power. This switch will take a unit of power, and then each turret phased out will also take 10. So at minimum, you've got 2, and then 10 per turret. Correct? Correct. We just make this cable black, I think. So I always tell people, again, to make sure that you have your switch going from your output of your battery. Help stop leakage. So right now we have no power usage because this switch is not turned on. Is not. And then we'll go ahead and connect the turret here. Keep it along the wall here. Again, you don't want people to know where your cabinet is. I like to bring it under the legs and then into the back. Like so. Also, it's a good idea to have a switch for your turrets because that's how you're going to put in reload. And then if you want to change the configuration, if we get that initially, we will get it at some point. It's a way for you to change out or customize the turret itself. Know what I mean? It says, well, Tesla coils damage twig. No, I don't think it does any damage to structures. It's just to players. It says 5 is the minimum requirement to run. Ah, nice. That kind of helps. Okay, so now this is collecting power. We bring out the cable itself. You can actually see it's accumulated 146 units. So if we turn this on, our power usage right now is 12. Now you see we have charge left at the top. Now, if we don't get it like this initially on the console, this is where it's going to go. Initially, we kind of had like active usage, but we didn't have a timer. You'd have to calculate it. I'm assuming we're going to be here, but if we're not, just know that it's eventually going to end up like this, where we have the raw watt minutes, the maximum output, active usage, and all that stuff. Yeah, I'd say just plan on this, and if we have something a little bit less, just know it's going to change. Says, do you like PC or console? I mean, I love Rust. I do like it on console because we don't have to deal with actual hackers. Don't get me wrong, M and K and scripts to reduce your recoil are still cheating on console, but we don't have freaking ESP or actual aimbots or anything on there because I'll deal with script kiddies and M and K adapters all day over actual hackers. Plus, some might say it's a more purest form of Rust because it doesn't have the recoil change. So now if you look, if it's in the middle of the day, we have 12 minutes and 47 seconds. So you're like, oh, I can't run this turret all the time. Exactly. And now you see why you want to have a switch, because when you turn it off, you can accumulate more capacity, more Rust watt minutes, RWM. So it's important to always charge your battery and turn it off when you don't need it. That's the biggest thing. Does that kind of answer your question, Brandon? Bardum? Bardum. Do you think they'll ever nerf scientists to do less damage on oil rig? I don't think so. It's pretty close with PC right now, if not exactly. Do you have Discord? I do. I do. Gentlemen, I do. So yeah, really, it's kind of like bring your questions, think about it a little bit, because we'll be doing this kind of stuff throughout the weeks coming up to Power Surge. Good questions so far. Bardum with the power turret. Is that what you're looking for, or do you want to see something a little bit more fleshed out? Here, let's go ahead and expand this. Let's see you got some more solar panels. So it's important, like the solar panels, you want to make sure you're accumulating power well ahead of time. Because think about it, at nighttime, you're not going to have the ability to charge because you're going to get no charge from these. Let me go ahead and put on my miner's cap. You know, whenever they add a little something, it slides it down the chain a little bit, and it's always a little bit confusing as to where it is. There we go. Got it. So now, if we check the circuit here, it's not producing any power because it's nighttime, obviously. So you're running purely off of this here. So if you're to turn the turret on, you literally have 15 minutes and a half seconds to get any kind of runtime out of this. So you can start to see accumulating power is a big deal. Consider it a resource because it literally is. Take a second for the server to respond. I should make it daytime. Beep. Okay. So let's say you're like, oh, that's cool and all, but like, how do I get a wind turbine? Yes, you can get those. They're expensive. You can buy them. They're also expensive, but you typically don't want to do that until you absolutely positively need it, because people see that and go, hey, I'm gonna raid you. It's kind of like having a lot of walls. If you're like a smaller team, you're like, you just ask and somebody come in and raid you. So like, we're gonna stick another solar panel this way and another solar panel this way. Let's grab another root combiner because it combines power sources together. Let's go ahead and put these into, well, since we're gonna have two power sources up here, right? We're gonna have another set of these going in like this and the bottom of here. I guess we can do, well, then these two power sources are going to go into here, and then it's going to go into our actual. I don't know if I need to color code those or not. We'll just make them regular for now. The combined stuff will be red. So then this is going to go into that root combiner. Our new root combiner is going to go into the back, and then this is going to go feed our battery. So hopefully midday we can get a pretty decent charge off of this. Or what we could do, watch this, let's get fancy. Let's go right through the middle. Oh, fancy. Fancy boy. So you can see the power is going up, down, and then it's going back in. I know it's a little weird because I didn't take it from the top, but hey, you know, it is what it is. All right, so from up here, we need to take each of these power sources. So again, one click here, and then kind of click it under here a little bit, so tuck it away. You get back inside of your base. Your wire tool is still active. You can bring it down the wall here, and then clamp it. Oh wait, I'm such a stickler for this. Hold on. Make it like this. I hope we have the ability to back 1 point up, like we do here, because it's very nice. I like to use the grains of the wood to line it up too. This will make sense in a second. I hope. That's one solar panel. Let's get the other one clipped in here. So this way, if you're on the roof, you really have a hard time telling where these things are going. I like to stick them right on the feet, keep them nice and disguised. And again, large number represents the distance. The small number represents how many points you can place down. So I have 14, now I have 13 points. Boom. Okay, so it's midday. No, I'm sorry, it's not, is it? Now it is. Alright, so they're both generating some form of power. So this is what, 40-ish? Nope, this one's 23, and then this one is 24. So it's making a combined 48 that's getting put into the battery. Says, I'm confused. When are custom servers coming out into main? We still don't have an official word. We still have to get power surge before anything else happens. Says, I'm confused. Are custom servers coming out this next monthly wipe? No, not that I'm aware of. I think we would know. He says, yes, thank you. It says, with your help, I like how you take the time for the Q&A. Oh yeah, no problem, man. I got you. Because I know when I first did power, like for myself, when it came to PC, you get it and you're like, whoa, this is a little crazy. We didn't have these nice marching ants right away. We didn't have colored wires. It was tough, dude. And like, it's worth it to learn it because it's such a big part of like the game now. And yes, you can do a sloppy way and slap up a bunch of wind turbines and stuff, but like, you're gonna be the first guy to get raided for sure. Like, if you have 4 of these on top of your base, you might as well be shooting off a flare that says, "I'm rich." So like this way, each of these are taking from the solar panels, and then I like to tuck them on the ceiling tiles and then kind of work them through your base. A lot of times I'll have, because you usually got 2-3 stories, right? So I create like a channel usually. On the side of the wall or something where I like to run a lot of the cables. And then if you leave the wire tool out, the marching ants show you the flow of power, and it really helps a lot. And so like you can already see how if we started with 2 solar panels, then you can scale it to 4. And this should run your turrets for a hot second, especially if you let it charge. This will run all the way through the night. So watch, if we turn this on, look, now we have almost half an hour. Our maximum rust watt minutes are 9,000 for this battery. I'm fairly certain almost all of these will be available for stage 1. I could be completely wrong, but like it's worth it to know what this is because this is how your turrets are going to work. How long have you played Rust? Since they've both come out. Early access for PC and then I guess early access for console as well. I was around when this game looked very different. Says, hey, when is Power Surge coming to main branch? Main branch? Not till next year, and we still don't know. We don't even know when it's coming out on PTB yet, so. Still worth it to learn all this stuff, though, because it's going to be something. So you can already see, just 4 solar panels are giving us a decent amount of power to run this bad boy. Is Power Surge coming out this Thursday? Negative. You talking about the main branch? Negative, sir, negative. That we do know for certain. Not to main branch. Now, as far as PTB is concerned, I don't think it's going to be Thursday until they move whatever's on PTB out to main branch, because that's just performance and quality of life stuff. Which I think they need another iteration unless they're confident this one's good, then we might see it get pushed out, the performance update, on Thursday to main, but we'll have to wait and see. But no, as far as I know, Power Surge is, we're still waiting for it to come to PTB. And it's going to cook there for a hot second, so it's probably going to be in there for a couple months. That's kind of like after knowing how this has been going since it's been out, almost 2 years now, well, a year and a half. Yeah, I would kind of set your expectations there for now. This is why do you choose console over PC? No hackers, man. Trust me, when you run across a real hacker on PC, you go, okay, that's why. This says, will cars come with power surge? I don't think so, no. I will open up the ability to do cars in Farming 2.0, yes. They have dependencies, and that dependency is electricity. I.e. power surge. Gentlemen? This is how long have you played Rust on PC? Yeah, since it's been in early access. So it's coming up on their, what is it, 8 years? 9 years? Let's see. What's the cake at? Is it under tools? I think it's, is it 9 years now? Yeah, it is. It's going to be 9 years because the cake is 8. So yeah, almost a decade, dog. Bet you didn't know there's a secret cake for how old the game is. And it'll change. I think it's going to be a multi-layered chocolate cake for the next one. Which I believe is in December or November. I think it's late November? Early December? I think it's December. Want some cake? They should glow at night too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, they do. You think 2x servers are coming to main? Yeah, I do, at some point. I don't know if we'll get them in that next big batch, but we'll get them, yes. I must have caught it on a server cycle. It immediately turned to daylight. And that's another reason why custom servers have to really be after power surge, because there's so much that's going in on the back end. On the server side, they need to make sure it runs well. So they need it in an active environment first. This is where our official 2x servers and others. They're over on PTB right now. Good questions, gentlemen. Good questions. Somebody else had another power surge question. What was it? We had the Tesla coil, which was good. Says, are you going to play the new Warzone? Probably not. I've given up on a lot of the Call of Duty stuff a long time ago. I used to play it a lot. I don't know. Ever since the original game studio got, like, ousted, and I don't know. I just feel like it hasn't really been the same. Kind of like the whole Halo franchise and Bungie leaving. It's like, yeah, you have Halo, but you don't have what makes Halo, right? I love Halo to death. I played a lot of it, but I feel like 343 has really taken the franchise out and put it over a barrel and just spanked the crap out of it in a bad way. 3X, where are they? Oh, I don't know. All we can see is 3X right now. Make sure we got all the. It says, do you know when minis or helis are coming out? That's super far down the road. Now, interesting question. If they somehow fork development or make some servers available that can support this, 100% will have it. Let's put it this way. If there were separate servers, and it's not as easy as turning on a light switch, but if there were separate servers for like next gens and like core systems, the next gens could run helicopters no problem. They're not what's the issue. It's the core systems can't load things fast enough as that thing can travel. So like you would be flying and you would be sputtering, or like you wouldn't see a building you could fly into until it spawned in, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm dead. But I mean, next gens can handle this thing no problem. It says, do floor traps give their own power? Good question. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Some floor traps do. As a matter of fact, I think almost all floor traps do. Yeah, but here's the thing. It's almost like a signal. It's only for a split second. So don't count on like running anything major. It's mostly to send a signal to it. There's two things that actually generate power. Actually, we have an example over here. Okay, so if we have the, oh, cool, we already have these loaded. So this is one of them. The red button switch will send a burst of power, which is really all you need to set off the igniter to set off these furnaces. Watch, it'll reset. There's nothing else in the circuit whatsoever. This is it. But you see how, like, it sent the burst, and then it took a second for the thing to reset? Same with the push plate trap. Pressure plate? I think that's what it's officially called. I've been playing too many games. I'm like, which game is this? What are we talking about? And these also do the same thing that this switch does. It just works with walking on top of it. But what's beautiful about this, it's great because you can put this on top, sir. You can dress it a lot of different ways. Yeah, how dirty is this? So imagine instead of these furnaces going off. Come on, give me the... There we go. And you were to hide the cables. You're like, oh, cool, an open base. But see, this only needs a burst of power. So if you needed this to run something, you'd have to put that into an AND switch. And the AND switch would boost it. Or stick it into a memory cell. And then that memory cell like controls whether or not things or flows of power go through it. Which is a bit more advanced, but definitely doable. Or in this case, you could do this, like a dirty. We did this previously. This is, oh, you know what? Let's just do it more simplistically so you guys can see more frame here. And these are things like if you're not making traps, you need to be aware of the traps because there's going to be a lot. I'm just letting you know. We're going to make a lot. Other people are going to be making a lot, so you got to look out. Okay, so like let's say we have something like this. This would work. This is another type of circuit that can take a burst of power. But you can start to see how you would need something to really control this. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's say we took the power out from here and we brought it up to this door controller. First we need to sync the door controller, so let's unlock it and then let's sync it. It's green, we're good. Relock the door because we don't want people walking in and taking our doors. So remember, it sends just a burst of power and then it resets, even if I'm standing on it, so watch. That might be enough if you have enough shotgun traps to kill somebody. But you notice, I didn't need anything else other than this for that door to open and shut. So if you have like 3 or 4 shotgun traps in there, that would be enough to kill somebody. Like, they watch it and they go, is that free? Boom, 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 you're dead. So that would work. Very, very simple trap. I mean, straight up, you just need a door controller. Like, and those are cheap. They literally take metal fragments. And it's a level 1 tech tree. Does that help? What's up? Tenchu? What's up, baby? Yeah, so like if you stick enough to give it a kill strike in like, what, 2 seconds? Yeah, you need like 2 or 3 shotgun traps for sure. But see, if you pipe this to anything else, this won't work. So, good example. Let's put another one here. And put another one here. You're like, oh, I need a bunch of doors to open, you know, because who knows how you want your shotgun trap to work. Or, I'm sorry, your trap base. Which is doable. Maybe you need a bunch of things opening and closing, you know? Who am I to say how you want to trap and take people's loot? Says, will Rust Plus be coming soon? I hope they say something about what they are going to do with that development. I don't think it's going to come with any of this, although there's a lot of argument to be said, or a lot of things that kind of point to that they could support it at some point, but I think they're so worried about getting power to work, which in turn to make sure usage is okay, that leads to having custom servers being at a reasonable price. So I think we're going to see those things first before we even hear anything about Rust Plus. I could be totally wrong. Kind of hope I am, because Rust Plus is the shit, especially if you're a solo player, because holy crap, like it's offline raid protection is what it is. But if we do get it, I've got offline ray protection, like literally will detect when your walls are being destroyed. And it's that video right there if you want to add it to your watch list. Just saying, just saying, just saying, just saying. The sensors you can put on walls can also be switches or memory cells, the green blocks. That can work too. Whatever's cheapest, really. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these all keyed in here. So let's unlock you. That is good. Let's relock it. Always a good rhythm, right? Once you pair it, relock it. So it's green. Okay, now that's paired. Let's lock it again. And these do have to be in proximity. And yes, these little baddies, hang on, let me just show you this real quick. These also work with very large gates. The wooden gates and the stone gates. Although the placement for these particular sensors are a little goofy, but they definitely work. Yeah, I think you gotta put like, where is that? I think you can even stick it, where is the hotspot for this? I think you could stick it on a wall or something next to it. Anyways, you can definitely do the same thing with these giant doors. Also good for like cars and stuff. We'll come back to it. Remind me if you guys want to see it later. It definitely does work though. Okay, so what's cool about these guys here, they do daisy chains. So you can stick them and pair them up like so. Then the inputs on the bottom, outputs on the top. Obviously you wouldn't have all the cables hanging out like this because it, it just says, hey, I'm a trap base. That kind of defeats the purpose. So this is going to show you, like each one of these will consume a unit of power. But since this only puts out one, the only door that's going to open is going to be this one. Even though all of those are cabled up. Now, if you were to put something on there that boosts the signal a little bit, maybe this kind of helps explain what an AND switch does. Okay, so let's say it's on this wall here, and the output for this goes here, and let's just put a battery here, blah, blah, blah. You won't have access to these, but let's just say this is an imaginary power source of whatever. This is just a way for me to speed charge this. Imagine that's a windmill or a series of solar panels or both. Imagination. Okay, so everything's piped in the air, so this is an active battery pack that is receiving charge. So you would take your signal. Let me go ahead and color code this. This might make it a bit easier. So we'll take the green. So the additive here is going to be the green. So the AND switch, it works just like that, like in a sentence. Like this and this will make that true, which means the top will then be active. So when A and B are active of any kind of charge, any charge, it'll take the greater amount of power, which will definitely be the battery side, the green side, and then take that power and throw it out the top. So if those condition or that condition is true, the most power gets thrown through the top. So in this case, it's 50, right? Because this battery is always dumping out 50. So let's go ahead and take the lead here, which is gonna, we'll just call it red, right? This is gonna be the switch, red. Let's pick up this, I was gonna say paper towel. It's not a paper towel. So what this switch is effectively gonna do is tell this switch, hey, I'm active. You can go ahead and let that 50 units of power just go smoking through. And then we'll say the line that we want to be active for our door controllers are gonna be yellow. So now this should open all 3 doors, or even more doors. More door? But again, since this is only sending a burst, this condition only is true for a burst. Does anybody know what happened to Outpost and Builder's Paradise? Are they completely gone from map? Yes, so are monuments on Builder's Paradise. Isn't that wild? So the AND switch, you can already see, like when this is receiving power, that side's green. And when this receives power, that's green, which means that when these are both green, that smaller circle, which is red, will turn green. Watch, when I stand on it, it'll all 3 will be green for a second. It shows you really what's happening. So that's another way to open a bunch of doors. You think they'll fix up pumpkins not showing up on your head when you equip them? I don't know. What switch gives longer power? Well, here's the thing. The next switch, which I don't know if it'll be in stage 1 or not, will be something like the memory cell. This is probably what you want, where you want it to be on, and then you want another condition to turn it off. This one's definitely more advanced. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. We'll take the yellow and take it off the top here, which is the output. Okay, so what you want here is we'll set it up the same way. Oops, didn't we do like, we did green. That's right, we did green before. Alright, so the input to this memory cell is going to be from the battery, which is green. Now, you have different conditions here. You have set, reset, and then toggle. In this case, we probably want it to just be set. So set, which is essentially making it go on, will be this pressure plate. And then we'll have a manual switch to turn it back off, which is another good use case for our good friend. Where's reset at? You know what? Let's do it like this. Hold up. Let's make it a little bit cleaner. And then we'll make this one. Is this getting a little crazy, or are you guys with it? Okay, so what's happening here? We have the same circuit, right? Red is the trip. So remember, it's only a burst. It goes boop, and then it's done. It's not like a constant like boop, you know, like it's just a quick boop, and then it's off. So it's perfect for things like a memory cell, because when it just goes in, it takes either a constant signal or just a small burst, and the set goes off, which means it turns it on. So, and then it's always on until you turn it off. And the turning it off is the reset switch, which again, whether it's a constant signal or a burst, this is also a good thing for that, because I don't need any power for this. It sends off just one burst. So watch, when I do this, all of these will stay open. Even though this pressure plate only sent off a burst for less than a second. Watch, I'll get off the plate, I'll stand on the plate. I send another burst. But that's not how memory cells work, right? Like, since the power just went into the set, it's always just turning it on again and on again. So the way to turn it off is to activate the reset switch, which is this. So now when I hit this, the doors reset. So this is a good mechanism for like a trap base where you want a door to be open until they're dead, until you can reset it because you want to be behind a wall or something. So this is definitely a lot more realistic. You can do it with other logic, but this is a lot cleaner and a lot better on power consumption. So like if somebody comes in, they're like, oh, hey, what's up? Boom, you're dead. And you can flip-flop these where you can have it doors shut or open. This is what? That's sick. I know, right? And then you hit the red button to reset. But you can also see how these are actively moving too. Like when this circuit's true or it's going on, both of these will be green. This one's green on the top when it's receiving power from the bottom. So basically this 50 is ready to go through the top of this, but these conditions have to be met here. This turns it off, the blue line, and what turns it on is a burst from the red line, more or less. And yes, you can even have things be inverted because there is an inverted output. So the green button is the green button. The green block is your best friend. It's weird at first if you're not used to that kind of stuff or like software or hardware engineering, because it's kind of an abstract concept, but like in its most simplest form in a trap base, you could do stuff like this. And then you could just freaking, let's hide this bad boy, right? Let's get stupid, man. You got a bearskin rug? No problem, dude. Slap that on top of that mad boy. You're like, sweet, free loot. Boom, you're dead. You put whatever you want back there. That could be a garage door, double doors, armored doors, single doors, wooden doors, anything. It can also be the, what are they called? The vertical ones? Ladder hatch. Wow, I just struck out there for a second. But see, you can have this switch like on another side of a wall, and you just turn this when you want it all to reset again. And it's just a matter of hiding these cables in such a way. So like, if this is the active area where you want people to be trapped, then, you know, tuck these on the opposite side of the wall. Or also, wooden frames, I'm sorry, not wooden frames, stone frames are so bulky. I'm sure you guys know this from placing boxes. Look how bulky this is. Really good way to set cables. Like, if you got a point just above it and you're trying to like hide cables, shit, let's do it from here to here, okay? A lot of times this big area, if you kind of set the point just before it and kind of go like a little bit in, it almost completely hides the cable. Or it tucks it away back behind that pillar a little bit. So you can already see the bulkiness of this you can kind of use to hide stuff. But again, that was not a clean hit because we definitely poked through. So yeah, a lot of times I'll keep them on the creases of walls and stuff to kind of hide it. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways to hide your cables. You definitely don't want the cables to be hanging out if you're trying to trap people. Trap base all day. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, tell me that bearskin rug isn't dirty. And watch, we'll make the same circuit on this side of the wall. Easy clap, dude. Easy clap. And let's make a little window, so because we're D-bags, right? So let's put a window here. Or oh, we don't have the room for this yet. There's another really sneaky way to make like a half wall, and like you're sunken down a little bit, and you put like either a water barrel or like a. I think we can do it here. Yeah, we can still do it like this. Hold on. We did this on the last one, but this definitely works. So like, let's say, for imagination's sake, the floor is actually like up here or something, right? Let's say it's more like this. Oh, come on, snap it. Let's go. Do it like this. Man, those snaps are so fickle. Alright, and let's say these doors are up a half wall too, right? Like, I don't want to have to reset these two, but you get what I'm saying. So let's say you want to go in the room like this. And this is the real entrance, right? Like, it's up on a floor. You don't necessarily know there's any doors here or anything, but like, it's set up like this. Actually, probably having a solo door is better. But if you have it just like this, you don't even necessarily need a door, but if you put like a workbench, it's so filthy how well it hides. You don't know there's a door there. 100%. If you crouch, maybe. If there's no light coming out of that and you're walking through here, that doesn't look like shit. You are not going to know. You could put an activator switch down here. And here's the thing. If you don't want somebody peeking in there, put a door down. Be a teabag. Right? You'd be like, oh, what trap? What are you talking about? This is just a place to go buy stuff. Alright, you would probably have it opening towards you, wouldn't you? Because that door would definitely give it away. If like you're solo, you don't have to beep when you open it, right? If you have the wooden locks. Dirty, right? So let's say you have the same mechanism, just like this. You could even have like one of those laser things go through there. You see a trap like that from Dirt Rider? Yeah. This is so common. Like I don't think you could possibly like say where it came from, but I know lots of people have done stuff like this. But yeah, another really dirty tactic. And there's like a million different ways to hide stuff. I've seen furnaces smashed together, which is really smart because they're loud. You're used to seeing them, and you can kind of get these like weird crevasses and stuff. What was I doing? Oh yeah. This one works really well too. You're gonna have to get something on the side here so they can't like see what's going on. So you need like a furnace right here. So like you've got that little gap under there. You've got other active things inside here. I don't know. You'd have to put something else like right there, or I think you can even flip it this way. I think it's more like this. Is it like this? Hold on. Yeah, I mean, the level one's definitely the best, but you can definitely do something like that there too. And I don't know, if you kind of dress the room in such a way, it can definitely make it like super filthy. Or you can just have like a little sneaky hole behind like a freaking vending machine or something. Level one is dirty to the max. Trying to think of another one that's really good. I think it's the repair bench that's the best, and not the... I want to say this one does work pretty well. Yeah, okay, and then you gotta dress this one too with like some boxes. This works pretty well. Yeah, you can already see dirty. You make just like a little peeky peek right there, and you're like I can smell your feet. Yeah, that one's like just filthy to the max. What's up? Sean Doyle says, when's the next update? We're still waiting to see what the next big patch is. Says, do you think that they're looking through the wall will ever be fixed, or do you think it's because limited by the older consoles? It should be fixed. It's a Viz issue. Like when your head's snapped around, like the Viz things aren't catching up fast enough, so you can like see through things that you're not supposed to be able to. I've also seen the rug on the wall is a pretty good trick. You can use the table trick with some stuff under it. And this looks pretty legit. Like, you're not going to know. If there's other things that actually look real, you would just think it's normal. Not a big deal. Like, how are you going to know? You're not. Alright, so let's, as we promised, let's go ahead and put this behind the wall. As if it's real. Just to show you. So, like, what's really cool with this wiring tool, too, is you can have it out and you can go all the way outside. You can jump, and you see how my wire tool is still active. You can climb the rooftop. You can do whatever. You can staple things down to the ground, and then you can come back. I just put on the output like an asshole. Sorry, hold on. What I meant to do was the other side. And now once you staple it down, you can go out here, walk around, and then when it's green, you can place it down. Just imagine this is like on the rooftop or something, or there's solar panels or whatever, but that's the power source. And then we'll do what we did last time. Electricity. And you could just sit down in this pit of despair, just waiting for some clown to come through and just ruin his day. I mean, isn't that what it's all about with trap bands? And then we said what? We're going to have yellow for the output. So a lot of times, even these door controllers would be on the inside here, not the outside. But we'll try to tuck these cables in the back here the best we can. Like, you don't know any of this is here. You don't know what's going on, dog. Same setup as last time. It's just all tucked away, all dirty like. This one's going to go to reset. And our floor trip is still going to be a pressure plate. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Pressure pad. I'm sorry. That's what it's officially called. My bad. And then we'll have power out, please. In this case, you could run it up on a wall or whatever, but if you do have this underside, this like fake side like we do have here, it's perfect for you to run your cables. Like I can place that here, crawl all the way under here, find where roughly it's coming down, and just run it through like this. Not even a big deal. And no one's going to see that. Bring it through the wall, and that's your set. And then our main power comes through. What did we make that one? I think it was green, right? Yeah, it was green. Put a sleeping bag down here, and you just get sweaty, dog. You just sit down here and wait. Let's see if I did this right. And then if we put like a little bearskin rug on there, we're looking all good. Like a little rug action. Yeah, let's make this real pretty. Like, let's dress this one up real good. There you go. Beach towel. Alright, stick it on there. You don't know what's going on. Boom, they're all open. And if you're down here getting sweaty, all your traps go off, and you're like, excellent. And then you reset it. They all go back, and you can see just enough. She's also we had infinite demolish time, but now it's gone for some reason. Do you have a tool cover down, Ryan? You gotta have a tool cover down before you can do infinite demolish. See if that works. Reset. And someone just walks in. I mean, if that door is even shut, like, I mean, like you're gonna come into a base like this. You're not gonna know. You got some furnaces running, it hides all the extra noise. You're good to go. Reset. Filthy. It says, is there a loss of voltage for longer distance of wire? No, but it has a maximum distance before you need to stick it through a component of any kind. No, there's no degrade. So you can put pressure pad on the roof or floor of a bear rug. It says, if that description makes sense, you can put pressure pad on the roof of a floor on top of a bearskin rug. If that description makes sense. I mean, technically yes, because that is a ceiling tile or a floor tile. But I mean, it just sits right in there. I mean, we're right at eye level here. I mean, obviously all of this here, all of these would be elevated to match. But like, this is kind of nice because you can kind of see at eye level. But if you're standing up, dude, you're not gonna, right? You're not gonna see any of it. Especially if like this is burning. You know, you know, you're gonna go, oh, this is a normal base. Somebody left their door open. Then I'm not sure, Ryan. I don't know why. Dirty, dirty. You can stick a couple big boy boxes down here. You can stash all your big boy loot. I just sit here and wait like a trapdoor spider. Just sit and wait. It's dirty. Just have a sleeping bag right here. Oh, there's sun rays coming through. Beautiful. And this circuit runs on like virtually nothing, so you can run this for like ever. Do you think they ever lower animal damage and remove bleed? Probably not. I mean, that's in line with PC. Not unless PC changes it. Says, do you think we'll ever get drones for shops in the next year? I think it's a possibility. Because they're not too crazy. There you go. That was like a basic trap, and then showing you something a bit more advanced, and even dressing it up to make it like super hidden. But if you really had like little to no components, you can still make a trap base out of that stuff, just off of a pressure plate. Just make sure you have enough shotgun traps on the other side. What's up, Planet? This is 2 days waiting for your stream, Jade. Ah, what's up, baby? That makes sense. Did I miss anybody else's question? What's up? It says, sorry I'm late. It says I was eating dinner. Do shops need power? They don't. They do not. I'm gonna grab a little snacky poo. We're gonna put on some music. Be right back. Yes? Hiya. BRB.
Jade.
Are you eating Cheerios? I'm out of Cheerios. Hi. He says only true chats put on music and say BRB. What's up? Yeah, only when I have the license for it. Yeah, another interesting thing too about the door controllers. If that's already open, watch and the trap goes off, they stay open pretty high, right? Or if this is closed and this is closed, and then you reset the trap, they all go back to closed. Or if you have the trap open, or somebody attacks the base or something, if the power gets cut to these door controllers, they automatically close. Yeah, so they're exactly what you want them to be in these conditions. Pretty freaking amazing. This is what's your PC? Custom built? I built it. What's up? It said, hey Jade, glad to catch your live. Ah, what's up, man? BioLazer. Did we get all the any more questions around Power Surge? Good stuff so far, gentlemen. Yeah. This is Jade's live everyday, fam. I mean, I try to be. As long as my internet's working right. This is how you hide your solar panels. Just stick them on the roof and stick them in the center. You can't really hide them indoors. That was an exploit that they have since patched. I mean, really, if this is... actually, no, we have an example over here. These are 4 standard solar panels, right? And you're like, oh, these are obviously right here. But look, when I'm on the ground, can you see any of those? No, you cannot. You don't even know this base is powered. Okay, you can see a little crumb right there. If I hit it a little bit better, you wouldn't be able to see those. And that's what, 3 stories? Yeah, if I stuck that in the middle, dude, like middle, you would not see that. Look, like on this side, you can't see shit. And if it's even taller than that, I mean, no one's gonna know. You put some little BS up there, like some of these, or even if it's like 4 stories, you would never know. Since I play on Xbox, I struggle to do a lot of things. This is LOL, but I can't wait for Power Surge. Ah. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking a little bit about New World in my homestead and building more storage boxes. I want a private server so I can practice more. Yep, I get that. I get that. Or like you could do this with solar panels too to hide them if you wanted to. And no one's gonna know. Unless they're totally above your stuff. So I thought you PC guys had found another way. There was a way to like hide them, but again, it was an exploit. It is since been patched. There's a way to get a little crumb of it hanging out, and then it still counted as touching the sky. You like stick it in honeycomb and stuff, but yeah, it's since been patched. Can you set a timer at turrets? Ah, like your bedtime, the time you're away? Yes. You would have to kind of set a timer. I don't know if like a clock, you'd have to set up something a bit more sophisticated, but you could like hit a switch before you leave or have them run for a certain amount of time. But really what you want them to do is detect when somebody's around. So for the same reason, like remember we used the AND switch? Where is my HBF? Where are you now? There you are. You're on the way end here. What you could do, if you have something outside your base, you would hide this, more or less. But then what you could do, instead of having this active here, remember how we used the AND switch before? There it is. So instead of all of this going here, you know, we can just pipe it like this. So instead of this going here, the switch, the output will just go to our splitter. And the battery will be, I don't know, green. We'll skip the switch and have it go right into the AND. And then outside, we'll have it go to our HBF sensor. Oh, that's right. This needs power too. Duh. Man, I totally forgot. Alright, so we'll carve off a little bit of power here. I know, it's starting to get a little goofy, eh? Main power goes here. And again, all of our HBF stuff. We only need 2 units of power from that. So now when it detects somebody, this thing turns on. And then if I go out of range, it shuts off. What's up, Lifer? What up, what up, what up? Man, I thought this thing had a bigger range than this. Did they reduce it? I feel like they did. So that's pretty complicated, Jade. I don't know if my small PvP exclusive brain can handle it. It's all good. You probably just want to stick it on a timer. I'll have these more simplified and ready to go. So like if you just wanted to have this functionality, I'd make a very easy to follow pattern. You just kind of match that and then you'd have that functionality on your base. It would be a lot cleaner than this. Man, this used to have a lot more range. Unless I'm like low or something in the water and it just feels like it's not that far away. That's like 3 blocks. It used to be way more than that. Yeah, dude, that does not feel that far. Up. That's the builder's problem. Fair enough. Anything else burning on your mind, gentlemen? There's a specific build I was going to do, but I just totally stroked out on it. Says it would be better, it better be the builder's problem. It says I'm going back to Apex if I have to deal with that. It says just kidding. It says have $1,000 solo. There you go. It says I like to build but not hype about farming. Hey, you know, you need a little bit of everybody. Yeah, you struck down what we're gonna do. Like, we got off on these good questions, and then I was like, what was I doing initially? I forgot. Okay, so yeah, with powers in mind, things like the crowbar here, we'll be able to have automatic doors open these up and have these turrets be active. This tail end here would be facing somewhere like the ocean. It'd be less likely that you would need coverage there, but you have decent coverage on this side. This is Jade. Want to get on that new world? Maybe. I might a little bit later. It's not out of the question. It's definitely taking over. I mean, look at the range on this. If you guys have used the wedge or are familiar with it, this is basically a 2x2 wedge with some amenities. But this is it's a bunker. And then you destroy this, you get inside. And then this can be high quality metal. It can be whatever. So even if they destroy this door or this frame, it doesn't matter because it's all about this roof tile. And it's locking them out. She's not against Jade New World. It says 3 days in a row. I don't know what you're talking about. We might do it later. We'll see. So yeah, things like this, you can jam the electronics up in here, run the cabling and stuff for all these turrets over on the floor, and then drag them back here to the battery pack on this side. You can even put it deeper in the base if you really wanted to. Heck, you can put it downstairs in this main hallway if you really wanted to. You have to scooch the sleeping bags up, but you can definitely put the battery down here, so that way you've got access to your honeycomb. Still very functional. Hot. To the max. You get your main area totally locked down. We're definitely using this next wipe for sure. I mean, look at the range on the turrets, dude. You're like, oh, let me peek right here, dead. Let me dick around right here, dead. Like before you get there, dead. Dicking around back here, guess what? Dead. Even if you peek just a little bit here, that guy's gonna get dead. You get closer, oh yeah, double dead. What's your opinion on battery location in base? Usually you want it on the inner core. This is where your root combiners would be for the top tile. So initially, I think realistically, I would probably stick my battery pack here to get started. And then as we felt a bit more comfortable, I'd probably stick it downstairs on this back wall. We'd probably pick these up and then slap that battery right down there. So you want to have good reach with it, you know? How many batteries do we, or turrets do we have out here? Is it 3? Oh, that's perfect, dog. That's a pull of 30, so you have 20% plus lights for the other circuitry. That's more than enough. Dude, this is so money. This is like, the crowbar is ready for gameplay now, but it's ready for power surge, like, tomorrow. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Nightbot put up the shirt advertisement. Here, let's get in line with it. If you want to support the channel, you can buy the merch right under this video / live stream. It's right inside of YouTube. It's all above board. all certified and all that good stuff. So if you want to shop for a t-shirt, you can totally do it down there. Booyah! And it keeps you inside of YouTube, so you don't even technically have to leave. And it's all done through Google/YouTube. It's all the same thing. I mean, it's Teespring, but yeah, so you're good to go. Nothing crazy, nothing janky. Let's put it this way. If it wasn't safe, YouTube wouldn't allow us to put it on there. Which is good. Yeah, we're going to call this one the crowbar. I'm trying to think. Maybe we should try to do a run through this, maybe? I don't know. I was like, if we do we put the power in there? Probably not. Scalable, so when you do get the right amount of stuff to do like turrets, you can add that when you need to. I'm trying to think, if we wanted to add like a cheap shooting... Oh, you know what we could do? Hold on. Hold up. Can we do this with wood, is my question. You give us a poor man's shooting floor? Right. You know I like cheap. Replacing those in real time is such a pain. Yeah, you got a giant toilet bowl you can shoot out of. You can make it wood, so if you hate it, if you like absolutely hate it, you can just get rid of it. This is another way to hide your freaking, what do you call it? Honeycomb. Really, you don't have to worry too much about shooting down because your turrets will take care of most of it. I'm a big fan of making these all wood because, again, if you want to add another floor or something, it's real easy to knock out. Yeah, see, there you go. This will work. Pop, pop, pop. Right in your tits. Right in your tits. Here's one option. Get 93% off G for using. You know what's great? I should try to get sponsored by them, right? I should. 93% off would be pretty legit. If you're down in caffeine, I mean, it's the way to go. This would keep it on the cheap, right? Because we still got that cheap wood downstairs. And all this would be facing towards the water, so you'd be pretty set back here. And it's hiding your freaking solar panels, too. Straight up. Use it for heli? There you go. Or the other question is, if we brought that honeycomb up, we could make it look a little bit different. We can maybe use those crazy shoot downs, which are dirty. Although it'd up the cost of the build, but I mean, if you've got 2 or more people, I mean, you can afford this, no problem. I mean, this is dirt cheap for a solo player, even with this weird cap on top. But you got these little sneaky peeks over here in the back. It's not bad. Pop, pop, pop. These weird, like, lips. And then, yeah, if you hate these, you can just come out here with a machete and hit all the soft sides. Because this is all wood, even though it looks like it's stone. Yeah, let's go check the upkeep. I bet it's still dirt cheap. I bet it's still $1 and a nickel. Look at that. 5 stone nodes. We'll call it 1. We'll call it 2 trees, right? Because you don't always get 1,000 out of it. And then what? 3, 4 metal nodes? Oh, I'm sorry. That's 2, right? Yeah, because we get 600, not 3. Duh. 2 metal nodes, 2 trees, and then 5 stone nodes a day. Doable. Psst, I've been trying to contact you about your bar's extended warranty. I know, right? It's free real estate. Not the best shooting floor, but you know what? It'd do for most cases. Keeps a lot of those scrubs from laddering up. It's not impossible to get up here, but you know, it stops some of the bull rushing. People can get up here, but they gotta work for it. And you can always leave them a nice little surprise. You can leave a turret on. Just let them figure it out. They just get sprayed when they come upstairs. It's nice though. Nice little peaks right here. Pop, 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 pop. Because most of your action's gonna happen east and forward, right? So if this is facing the water, it's not gonna be anything too wacky. I like the water. It's an ongoing theme. It's wacky. It's a split top. Who was talking about? Was it Tenchi who was talking about a new world again? He brought it up after I brought it up. Now I'm thinking about it. How dare you? Swish, baby. Oops. Since I'm down. Oh shit! Now you just tapped to fate, dog. I like it. How is this still out here? Oh, it's because there's a freaking TC here. Oh, that's right. Not anymore. It's just damn adverse. It helps support the channel, dog. Alright, let me check my list of stuff here. We had this crazy thing, but I think we're gonna save that for another stream. This is gonna be a little nutty. What's it look like at night? This is Frog says I can finally talk. What? You couldn't talk before? I said say it. What? This is a glitch out, but I had to close and restart the stream. Oh. Are you on a mobile? See if you can update your app. Interested to know, is it Android, iOS? And if so, what version of either platform? And I wonder, because, like, I mean, it's Google, right? Like, YouTube is definitely Google. So you kind of wonder, like, how can they not support more of the platforms that are pretty much standard, right? They, like, do that with their own products. Like, what was it, the membership thing that for the longest time they couldn't get the button on there? Yeah, mobile? Okay. I'm not lying. I'm thinking about that freaking new world, baby. Okay, let me check my notes. I got notes. Android does it to me. It says with your stream all the time. Man, that sucks. Do you try updating the YouTube app? This is Android here. Sometimes I have issues. Yeah, like Android is made by Google as well, right? So it's like, how are they screwing that up, right? Like that iOS, the Android iOS is Google. It's weird. Sometimes I'm like, they must be so big that they have issues with things. Because even on the desktop, like they had the hardest time like putting that join button on there for like years, and still some people don't see it, which blows my mind. What's up? He says, could you explain to me quick, easy start for an absolute noob on console? Like, just starting? I got you, dog. I got you. And then if the building is a little foreign to you, and that's okay, all of these are good. You can add them, click them, add them to your watch list, come back, add the next one to your watch list, come back. Starting guide and build guide, 100%. I got you. Samsung? Yeah, but Samsung, if it's running off Android, it's still Google, right? And they literally make Chrome for everything. So, like, either way you cut it, Google's in so much that they should have a grasp on it, right? It's not like they're new with technology. It's just kind of weird. Like, they must be so big that they have a hard time keeping up with all the different permutations. I think. Because even for the Chrome desktop stuff, they were just, it was like non-existent for the longest, until I think in the last year or two. And then by then they changed it. They called it like memberships instead of, what did they call it? Sponsorships before, which was awfully confusing. I'm glad they switched the name. The slug. Let me see. I was sitting over here for a second thinking about, I'm going to have to check my deeper notes here. We were going to do a specific build. I've totally just blacked out on what it was. Staroke. This is our example last time, which was good. People had a lot of good questions. We have different sources of power, the root combiner and how it works, solar panels, and then like a basic for lights, and then an automatic light. So what did we do last time? It was when it gets dark enough. This is on. Oops. So when it gets dark enough and the power goes off, that comes in up top, like the solar panels, it will automatically turn on the battery power for the lights. And this is based off of 9-day cycle. Using a blocker. So watch, this switch will go off and the battery will be active when it works. Slug is still a go-to for me. Nice. Dude, I tell you what, the slug and the wedge are like legit. You can throw those up anywhere. The wedge is my new freaking go-to for sure. And the arrow is solid too. Although the arrow takes, you gotta work it out a little bit in Builder's Paradise so you know how those drop boxes work and you're familiar with the positioning. Comfortable with it. And then that one's money too, dude. I mean, you don't get any more solid than that. This is literally like straight walls. You have to wreck yourself and respawn to get inside. So it's always closed and always secure. I can see the sun going down. This circuit's really nice because people, just like the low-grade lamps, they never turn them off. This will help save power. We're not touching anything. The sun will turn the circuit on. Or lack of sun will turn the circuit on. Should we do it like this? Ah, we just missed it. Damn it. More dramatic. It happened. Same for nighttime. Back up. So this is now early morning. So you can see, like, it's in this circuit's super simple. I could probably just set up the circuit right quick. This one's super nice. Like, it's tight. You know, we can play some more music while I build it. I'm just gonna power build this. I'll be reading chat. Throw your questions in there. Anything you got. Power surge questions. Any other console questions. Whatever. Definitely reading the chat. I'm just gonna turn on the music while I speed build this right quick, if you don't mind. Hiya. Hang on a sec. It says, "Gotta love the music, bro. Digging the vibe." Oh, thanks. Thanks, Wesley. Make sure I just catch any questions we might have. It says we're gonna get horses that we can ride or anything like that. You think? I think that's gonna be the next one, the next big piece. But again, they're so like Jay that used to work for Double 11 talked to us a lot, and the last big chat we had with like Pedro was like 7 or 8 months ago. Like, so it's hard to tell like what's cooking now. But I hope they keep up the trend of them kind of posting like a roadmap and stuff, and then we can kind of fill in the blanks because we've been around for a lot of the development on PC. And like we have our own custom servers and stuff. So like we've been under the hood enough and been around enough that we can kind of fill in the rest. And then sometimes, if we post enough of a certain piece of content, they'll either come out and say it is true, or they will come out and say, "Hey, that's not gonna happen." You know what I mean? Because they're like, "Hey, there's not gonna be horses." Like the horse thing threw us off, right? Like, because the last thing we heard was like, "Hey, we have work done on horses." This was like earlier on in the year, right? And then like, "Hey, here's fishing village." We're like, "What?" I mean, all the horse stuff still stands. We just didn't know they were going to swap that in. My guess is because Power Surge wasn't going to be ready, so they kind of had to move things around. That's why it kind of felt last minute, at least for us on the outside. I'm impressed with what DL11's done so far. Yes, they've done quite a bit, and it is crazy that they're able to get it to run on the old hardware like that, like big time. And honestly, the I mean, Face Punch makes a beautiful game. They're always doing a top-notch job. I mean, without Face Punch and Gary and the whole team, Rust wouldn't exist. And they continue to update the game every month, which is phenomenal. And the game's beautiful, and it's always fun to play no matter what. But Double 11 has done a fantastic job of putting performance on very limited hardware. And dare I say, if they had that level of performance tweak that was over on the PC side, it would run a lot smoother on shittier hardware on PC. But I know it's different, right? It's different. Like, and the what do you call it? The bottleneck is really Unity, which is the engine that all of this is built on. The PC version is built on Unity. The console version, PlayStation, Xbox, Unity. Doesn't matter if it's core or next gen, it's all Unity. And Unity is a bitch when it comes to performance. But see, on PC we have so much overflow performance because our hardware is always so crazy. Like you can have some splash, and you don't have to be as efficient with it because you don't have a finite amount of resources necessarily because it's PC, you know. But on console you do. So like on the PC side, they're adding all this content like every month, which is great, you know. And when you think about it, they have like 12 updates throughout the year. That's insane, and it always gets better. You know what I mean? So like. Yeah, the stuff Double 11 has done is phenomenal because the fact that they can even get it to run on the core systems is amazing. With that being said, also, the next gen systems can handle a lot. So like, however they want to make it where the servers are a certain way, I know they can't fork the code, like make two different versions. I don't think that's in the cards for them. But kind of having like servers that can support a certain amount of monuments or something, so like we can still get the new stuff, and then the next gen systems aren't necessarily governed or held back. Held back is a strong word, but like let's put it this way: you've got a hot rod and you're going through a school zone. Like you could take this thing out to a drag strip and just go all out, but we have to slow down because we're in a certain area. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but that's kind of where it's at. I'm not saying it's holding it back, but like, because remember, this game is made for core systems and up, so they have to support that. I get it. But at the same token, these next-gen systems can handle most everything, if not all of it, that's currently in the PC version. It's not as easy as just moving it over, copying, and pressing a button. I know that. But just know that if it were just next-gen systems, we could have helicopters. We could have military tunnels. We could have electricity. We could have cars. We could have horses. We could have all of those things, right? Just saying. But also this, the upside to having everything like dialed in for performance, if it can run on core, it's going to run even better for us. So we got that going for us. Let's put it this way. If next year, if they keep continuing to communicate, that's a plus. They keep making some gangster skins. That's dope. and we get consistent updates like I'd like to see an update every 2 months, right? That would be tits. And we see custom servers relatively soon into next year, I'd say we're going to have a good 2023. If you can get the updates every 2 months, latest 3, like to main branch, we're in a good place. Like ideally, when main branch gets it, it should be a couple of weeks, and then PTB should get the next like iteration like pretty quickly. And I know it hasn't worked out like that because Power Search has always been in the background. They've been trying to get that out, and I get it because they want custom servers as badly as we want them. For different reasons for them, for sure. But yeah, so I think if we get custom servers next year, we have Power Surge, and they continue to communicate, and we have a rough idea, and they let us know what things are going to slip, even if it's bad news, I think we'll be in a good place. Like, if we can consistently bank on them giving us an update every 2 to 3 months on main, and a good rotation behind the scenes in PTB, I mean, I guess that's implied, I think we'll have a good year for sure. And a hazmat scan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'd be great. We'll throw that in there as like a secondary, tertiary, right? And a hazmat scan. Anybody? Who? You know what? That brings up a good question. That we'll put on the music here in a second. Okay, let's do. I might have to put a poll, not a Q&A. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, realistically, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm a gamer like you, right? I'm on the outside. I'm playing just like you. Okay, if there was a hazmat skin on a console, I don't know what it would be. Would you buy? And we gotta add this one. If there was a hazmat skin console, would you buy? So when they do bring custom servers, could we make a random seed for console and then play it in my own? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's how I understand it. And again, this is somebody on the outside looking in, but also somebody who's been playing this game for a long time. The way it works on PC is it's a seed like Minecraft, where if you have a number or some characters, it's generated into a map, okay? And I think, oops, that's not the map key. That's how we make vehicles. My bad. So like this has a seed number, and that's the way it's generated procedurally. It's based off the number, and there's a series of rules, and then things get generated here. There's a min and a max. Like as the what do you call it? As the map shrinks, the number of monuments shrink with it. As it gets larger, it has the potential for more of the monuments and stuff. And you look, there's a road system goes through here. So with that in mind, that's how it's supposed to work on PC. But because they wanted to take that out, because it was taking up cycles for the core systems, they handpicked the seeds and let that render out ahead of time, and then they push the map as just a straight download. So for us procedurally, I don't know if they'll have the seed support. It is built into the game. I hope they do something like that. But as it stands now, they bake them for they hand select a bunch of maps that are good for like what it's supporting. So like, you know, room for all the different monuments and stuff. And they do try to put them in there on a fairly regular basis. And then they bake it. They basically let the procedural process happen on their end, and then the map exists. The difference here is when you load it up, it takes the seed and builds it in real time and then puts it out, and then you start to play on it. It gets cached and loaded and all that stuff. So like, because it's different, I don't know what their long-term plan is. I think if they can get it in a way where we can pick the procedural seeds, or they have a handful, that would be dope, right? But like, if it's just straight procedural, that means every time you load in, it has to be loaded on our side and then loaded in. Next gens have no problem with that, right? Like, we've got the overhead to handle it, right? Or the headroom, excuse me. Man, those are totally different sayings, aren't they? So I don't know. I would kind of say expect it to be certain types of seeds, quite possibly. But again, until we start to see more clues as to like how they're going to implement this, it's going to be hard to say. So no single player? I don't think so. I don't know what their plan is for that, to be honest. They could, technically. The monument does show that you can select monuments. So it would be essentially, you like, oh, I turn this off, and this would just not exist. Because technically, when you type in the seed, it already knows what all of this terrain is going to be. It just goes, oh, okay, in this seed, the dome's going to be here. So now bang out the terrain in a certain way and make room for dome. There's like rules around that. So I think maybe it will be procedural now that you say that, because for them to make all the different variations of that would be interesting. They'd have to do like the terrain first, and then the stuff with the different overlays, and then you just turn it on and off. I guess they could do it that way. I don't know. I assume that they'll be pre-baked to start. That's kind of where my expectation is, but who knows? Did that make sense? Bit too much rambling? This is what's happening right now. What's up? I'm going to show an example of the automatic light switch. I might have to take a poop. Too much caffeine, my guy. Alright, so let me throw up the music real quick and finish this. He says, I mean, like, can you play Ark offline? No, this game's, like, strictly online. Even, like, there's a PC version that you could do offline, but you have to do some weird stuff to do it. This game is meant to be played off of servers. They could technically implement something like that for us on our version, but I don't know where that's going to sit. So I would expect it to kind of be the way it is now, until they say otherwise. I need your playlist. What's up, baby? Good question, though. Good observation, boys. Good stuff, for sure. Yeah, like, there was a lot teased in the very beginning, like that little menu they had, which kind of showed a lot. The two different price points were nice. Kind of giving people a cheaper option if they want to, which is always good. Like, I thought it was good they offered an option for, like, hey, if you don't want, like, PTB or, like, some extra skins, you can get the game for $10 less. I thought that was dope. I knew we would want staging and, you know, the extra skins, so we paid the $60. But I thought it was cool, like, a brand new game, they gave us an option that was $10 off, like, if money was tight. And that was during pandemic. I mean, to be fair, we're kind of inflation now, so things are still kind of shitty, but, I thought it was kind of dope that they offered that up for like a potential, you know, brand new game. It was like $10 off if you didn't want staging and like the extra skin stuff. But I mean, hey, if you wanted the full-blown game and everything else, you're like, yeah, $60, easy. Like, that's a normal priced game. You could go deluxe if you wanted to, which we did because, you know, Rust. All right, hang on, let me finish this. I don't know what that wolf thing is in the background. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this power block so it's not like in the way. So I'm kind of like... Like, I know how this circuit goes, but I'm trying to figure out a way that's, like, spaced out so it's going to make more sense, but that's why I keep erasing stuff. But anyways, almost done. Oh, did the chat cut off for a second? Hold on. Did my internet eat shit for a second? Hold up. Did we get some buffer? Or did my chat just DC? Hey, YouTube's doing this thing. You guys good? We good? We good? I saw my chat popped in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it said like my chat was disconnected and then reconnected. Did it buffer at all? Are we good? What's up? Let me see. So you're on a custom server now? I am. Here's the thing though. So for our version of like custom, like see how we have all these tabs and stuff up here? I think it's going to be closer to what our vending machine, like if you ever sold anything on a vending machine, I think it'll be that kind of menu or kind of like the crafting menu with like some more options. And I think we'll be able to like pull things up and then just spawn them. Obviously it won't be like this because this is a mouse and keyboard interface, but it'll be very similar to that. We've already seen it actively happen during, what do they call it? The cargo ship test. They had a lot of things active. They had the admins flying around like this, right? Pretty common. They sped up, they slowed down, all very basic stuff. We've seen them spawn things in, like boats and whatnot. We've actively seen them do this. They gave us the queue skip, which is hot, real hot. Hopefully they give us that option for our servers. Let's see what else. They actively made no PvP on the board, but only on the cargo ship, which is a moving monument, which is freaking awesome. Then they made it no PvP on anywhere else but on the cargo ship, and then halfway through the event, without shutting off the server, they turned on PvP everywhere. They gave us a custom loadout and stuff. So like these are all things we've actively seen them use, and we were in the server doing it while it happened. So like we're gonna have that kind of control, which is great. It's already shown kind of that list on the what was it, that little preview thing they had at the very beginning? That one like window where it's like, hey, create a server. Not saying I didn't want the PvP. It says I'm rubbish. It says, but I need to learn more. Yeah, but what's cool is if you've got like your own server, you can kind of like set up some stuff. We'll be having like events. We'll have two different types of servers. One's going to be an event server. We're going to rotate all kinds of cool stuff. We'll be streaming from there. You guys can join us. We'll have arenas. We'll have like rating stuff. We'll do all kinds of stuff there, right? And then we'll have like a standard server that'll be vanilla raids, but it'll be bi-weekly. So at the end of the month, it's a hard wipe. But every 2 weeks, so like, okay, let's say you start at the first of the month, fresh wipe, brand new, everything's clean, right? Then 2 weeks in, it's a soft wipe, and then at the end of the month, it's a hard wipe. So you've got time for like, let's say you like your whole cycle happens in 2 weeks, and then you're like, oh, I got fucking plowed. But that's okay because in that 2 weeks you can get blueprints, so you're ready for that soft wipe that happens in the middle of the month, which is perfect for people that work, go to school, or just busy, right? Because then it's like you got 2 weekends to like beat cheeks. It's dope. It's real dope. No buffer on your side? Okay, then it was like a client thing that disconnected the chat or whatever. So I know for a fact we're gonna have 2 servers. Hopefully they hook us up so like we get it for free. We don't have to pay money every month, but who knows? Probably not. Like we have to pay for our skins, we have to pay for the game, we have to pay for everything else. So I'm just assuming that we're gonna have to pay for it. And it probably is not gonna be cheap because any kind of console side server is almost always gonna be fairly expensive. So just count me a dope. This is 8. I'm in. 8 inches? You're in? 8 inch? What? So like, I don't know if you guys saw us like during the beta or whatever when we gave away codes. We did like an arena. We'll do stuff like that on the event server. That'd be dope, right? So like, we'll set up these like giant things. We'll commentate for some of it. We'll jump in for some of the fights. We'll stream it. It'll be dope. Will we get Twitch drops? I don't think so. What would the cost be roughly? I have no idea. Just know it's going to be more expensive than the PC version, almost indefinitely, because, or almost definitely, because like you've got Double 11 that's got their okay. So you got the people who made the game, Face Punch. They got to make money, right? Then you've got Double 11. They have to make money. Then you have Sony and Microsoft that have to make money. Now, typically you'd have another person in this relationship, and that would be the server provider, and that would be another person that needs to take some off the top. But Double 11 wants to be that at the same time, so like, it's still going to be expensive. That's a lot of hands in the cookie jar, right? I hope it's a reasonable price. That would be dope. But like for this one, like for 10 slots on PC, this is like fucking what, 20 bucks? 50 slots? 50 slots, I'm sorry. 20 bucks? Not a pitch on your server. Woo! I mean, that always helps, you know what I mean? All this stuff, like the ads and the membership stuff, it all goes into that kind of stuff. It's just me, you know what I mean? Alright, let me finish this over here. Let me contemplate where we're going to stick the stack. So I think it would make the most sense to put probably in the middle of the wall here. As we bring in the rest. Wait, hold on a second. Maybe in this back corner. Yeah, maybe the corner makes the most sense. Because then this could go to our lights. It's a lot different when you try to like make it more simplistic. Like I could fit this in a 1x1 closet, easy, no problem. But like as far as understanding, you look at that and go, no thanks. It's already pretty tough, I think, when it's spaced out evenly and it's like supposed to be easy to digest. It's a lot, you know. I just know when I first started this stuff, when electricity came out, I was like, whoa, like there weren't too many people like explaining this shit, and even the people that explained it didn't necessarily know 100% what was going on either. I just stroked out. Okay, so what's going to happen here is off of this branch, the remainder of power is going to go into the battery. We'll just have it go through the wall right there. Boom. But we just need 2 units of power to go to this breaker. Blocker. Breaker. So the blue line, when the power is out, it comes from the battery. Alright, let's get our lights on. You just take stacks of 100, throw it on the floor like it doesn't cost money. You've been playing, you know, like officials, it just feels dirty throwing that on the ground. You're just like, ugh. We'll have like, I don't know, 3 lights or something. Here's one. You have a lot. I believe these take 2 per, if I'm not mistaken. 2 per light? Yep, okay, 2 per light. Then we'll make this light green? Question mark? Okay, so the idea is this is taking a charge. So this circuit will only turn on when it's nighttime. So right now it's accumulating a little bit of power. Let's see if we did this right. Maybe we didn't. It's possible. Wait, did I throw off my helmet? I did. What an idiot. Why did I do that? What was it last time? It was like 18.5. Oh, 18.5. It's probably 18.5.1, eh? Oh, I forgot I had all this over here. So yeah, the power comes in from upstairs, which is the red line stuff. Yeah, let's make it off of this yellow so it's not as confusing. Or better still, this might make more sense on the floor. What do you think? Does it make more sense just coming off the wall like this, or do you want me to run it on the floor? Like this. I don't know if this is better for understanding, but I feel like this is better for organization. So the red comes in from upstairs. This is your power source. In our case, it's 2 solar panels heading to the red box, which is our root combiner. After the power is combined to the root combiner, it goes to the black box, which is a branch. Branches are prioritized left first, always on. So the lowest you can put it on a branch on the left side is 2 units of power, which is just enough. Which means that if any of this is running here, any power is going through any of this, this is going to shoot 2 units of power here and then block this. Because if this is active, it shuts off the power to the blue block. It doesn't let the green line go through. So as soon as it doesn't have power to stop this, obviously there's always power coming out of this green line because it's coming out of the battery. It's always sitting here blocked if there's power coming through on this side, but in this case it is not. So it lets the power go through from the battery, which turns on the lights. So if it's daytime, you can see all of these are now active. And what's crazy is, so during the day, all of this power is coming through, 20, 20. So then this is only 20? That says, okay, so one side's 20. So it's taking 2 units of power and putting it here to block this signal. So anything above this is going to be blocked. So that's all our lights. Green line. So what's crazy is whenever the branch takes its priority, which in this case is 2, and takes it off to the left, it takes a remainder and pushes it off to the right. And in this case, it's our yellow line. So since in this case we're getting, what, 20 units of power, it's taking 2, so there's only 18 left. The yellow line is going to carry the 18, less this, not circuit, less this component, which is 1 unit of power. So technically this thing's chewing up, what, 3 units of power? Unless this is, yep, 3 units of power. So the 2 here and then the 1 for the branch. So we have 17 units of power left during the day coming out here and charging the battery. The battery is not depleting anything at the moment because it's hitting a blocker. And until this goes off or has no power, then this is not going to consume anything. All the power stops here at the blue, if that makes any sense. So I keep seeing 2.8. Oh, I got you, Wesley. All right, good question, sir. Good question. All right, so when you use the power, what is this thing called? Power tool? The wire tool. Good question, good question. Okay, so let's say we've got two things here. It doesn't really matter what it is. Okay, so when I have this out and I connect something, this large number is the distance that you're allowed to have. So, and then green means I can place. So I can go all the way out almost 30 meters. And if there's a surface for me to attach it to, it'll work. And the small number represents how many times I can connect it to a wall. And then it's too far or it's too long. Like, this circuit's crazy. Like, the automatic light circuit is wild. Because at first you're like, what? Like, your brain has a hard time, like, breaking it down. But I think because the wires are color-coded, it would almost be easier if, like, these red things were, like, closer to this other side instead of, like, I have these directly coming up here. But that way, it's like, this root combiner is always taking the power no matter what it is and pushing it up here. And it takes all of it and dumps it into this branch. The priority in the branch is the left. And in this case, it's 2 units of power. And every component uses a unit of power unless it's a special thing like this. This doesn't necessarily use power at all. It just combines things. But the branch will use whatever's on the left all the time. So consider that 2 units of power always on if it has the power to do so. And then whatever this is, so, and then that's 1, because that's a branch. So you always got 3 units of power coming out of here no matter what. And the remainder comes off the right and dumps it into here. So if it's a better time during the day, we have 40 units of power coming out, we're going to have even more going. See, like, we have 25 now. So we changed it to later on in the day. So now instead of 17 out the top, we now have 22. So this is now charging at that rate. Slowly. Can you also power a turret after the lights? How do you split that up? Good question. So for this, I often tell people, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, this is just automatic lights, straight up. So that would be, okay, so this brings up a good question, and hopefully let me know if I do a poor job of explaining this, because this is a wacky thing to kind of take in. And it's okay if you don't get it the first time, because I definitely didn't the first time, or 6th time. So, okay, you would put it in a splitter. But you got to still control it, right? Because you still want this power to only be going on when it's, if you want the automatic lights to go off. Or on when the power is off. So we still have that technically. So what we can do, instead of piping it here to the, trying to think of a good way to do this as an example. Yeah, we can feed it up and over. Okay. So let's go ahead and erase this. So the green output for the lights, remember that's only for the green. Whoops, I forgot to make it green. We're going to have it come out the bottom of the splitter. And remember, each component uses a unit of power or more. And there's certain cases where certain things don't use a unit of power, but it's pretty rare. So remember, now we have coming out of the battery, when we have it active, this is going to use a unit of power at the very least, and then we have the blocker that's going to use a unit of power as it sends it out there. So as we add more components, we lose little pieces of power here and there. So it's really important to make things streamlined as possible. All right, so in this case, what we can do here is we can take the output of the battery, and let's just say it's, would be a good color. Black, maybe? I don't know. You know what? Let's move this over, because I have a feeling we're going to have to move cables around, and I don't want to have to confuse this situation. Sorry. Doing this in real time, baby. Right, green still goes up to our lights. So the output of power here is going to go to the splitter. Now, if you look at our power consumption, now we have actively 2 units of power no matter what. Because we now have the splitter, and now we have the blocker. You see how the blocker is like used a unit of power, but like now, or it didn't use a unit of power, but now it does. If it goes from a battery to the blocker, it won't use a unit of power. But if it goes anywhere after that, it's going to use a unit of power. Yeah, there's certain ones that have these weird things. So you almost always just bank on every component using at least 1 unit of power or more. So in this case, even though the circuit's off, it's still using 2 units of power. So you have a little bit of leakage. So that means whatever's coming in here, 13, is actually 2, right? Technically. Because really you're only getting 11 units of power minus the 2. Or you have 13, but then it's minus 2, so it's 11. So you're actually charging this even slower. That's why I always tell people to put a switch right here, but I guess we can do that later. Okay, so now if you wanted something like a turret outside, hey, I guess it's good we put a window out here, hey? I remember with turrets, it's always good to have a switch. So you can turn it on and off. What should we use for the turret? You know what? I lied. Let's use red. I know we run out of relevant colors pretty quickly. So remember, turrets use 10 units of power. So you already know we only have 11 coming in at the middle of the day with 2 solar panels. So things are getting stretched thin pretty quick. And this thing's barely charging. This will take many in-game days to get halfway there. So what happens now is if it's daytime and there's enough power in here, things are going to come up here and split. But okay, so let me just explain this first, and then you'll see why the splitter is not necessarily the best candidate for this. And why the branch is probably better option, because it's a more controlled split. It's weird because it's not something you're used to seeing, but like once you kind of understand like how this works, you're like, oh, this is basically a controlled splitter, but like with 2 outputs. There's pros and cons to each, but anyways, okay, so like when this comes in, it takes whatever power comes out of here and splits it in 2, because we only have 2 connected. But if we had 3, it would try to split it 3 ways, and it only does it evenly. There's no like back and forth. So like if you needed more than 24 units of power out of this line, you wouldn't get it. Okay, so like this one here, the lights won't turn on until it's nighttime. That's just running. We're using currently 2 units of power, so this one here is going out to this switch, and the reason why we're not using more power here is because we've stopped it. If we turn this on, it's not going to use this unit of power and this, so now we're adding 11 more units of power on top of our circuit that we already have running. So right now, with everything running, we're actively using 13 units of power. We're only getting 6 units of power going in from the yellow line, so we're actually, during the middle of the day, losing power, and look, our capacity is going down. Slowly, but it's going down. See how it went from 237 to 236? Now it's slowly going down to 235, and that's in the middle of the day. So for this circuit to be good, we would have to turn things off that we're not using, i.e. the turret. It's a big bleed. It's 10 units of power. Or we'd have to start adding more solar panels on the top, and then turning things off as we don't need them. Is this a console version? Not yet. I freaking wish. So you see how like keeping track of your power and understanding how it works is really good, because you can still make this work off of 2 solar panels. The trick I think here is in the very beginning, put a kill switch here and turn it on when you need the circuit on. Right? That way you don't have the extra bleed when you don't want it. Like if you're like, hey, I don't need lights right now, I just need this thing to charge as quickly as possible. Look, now we have no bleed. Because this stops all stuff from happening until this is on. I don't know, maybe that's jumping the gun a little bit. And you almost always need a switch here, not only to stop the bleed of power, but you need it to reload. So having a switch close to your turret is like just a plan on it. And it's a good way to shut it off. I mean, when this is like active and you know there's nobody out here, like turn it off, especially in the beginning. So like the reason why I put a switch here is now we're taking as much power as we can. Like yes, we have the automatic circuit bleeding off what, 3 units of power before it goes off to the yellow line. Oh shit, it's only we only have 3 units of power left over. How much is going in the bottom of this? 6. Holy shit. No, it should be a little bit better. We made it later on in the day. Do I just have bad positioning on these? I must. Oh, it's because we only have 2, duh. So like this way, if you go a couple game days and you leave everything off, you've got no bleed, you're going to have a nice charge up. So like if somehow you miscalculated or you need to turn it on for a period of time, you're good. That's why I'm always like, look, before you have any of this out here, just get it plugged in and start charging it as quick as you can. And then when this is full and you have another battery, pick this one up, put it in a box that's in your TC room because it'll hold the charge, or it should. Hopefully in the version we get, knock on wood. It will eventually. And then start charging another one. Charge your small batteries, your big batteries, because you can take this with you if you're going to go raid somebody's base. If you need like backup power inside of your base, consider this like sulfur or metal or stone. It's valuable, like or even scrap or tech trash. It's valuable to you, so collect it. What's up, Mr. Russo? Says, will the new update have any guns? I don't think so. Says, dude, how does 011 manage to get this complex with everything else on console? He says, what if they hit their limit for old systems and new gen will be? A lot of this stuff, and this is another reason why this has to happen before custom servers can even come out. Yes, there's a bunch of stuff that happens on our console with this, like we have new objects and there's things that are kept track here, but most of this stuff, like the tick rates, the wattage, the solar panels collecting stuff, notice like when I send this command, that's the server command. And sometimes look how long it takes for it to get there. Oh, in that case, it wasn't. It was actually very fast. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3. So, like, and the same with the power. Like, this is happening on the server side more than it is on the client side. Like, there's, maybe not more, but there's definitely a lot of load happening on the server side. So, like, this is just my area on the map. Now, imagine 100 more people with more complex setups. The load is happening on the server. Like, yes, we have renders and stuff, but like the server is keeping track of all of this in real time. So that's why it's so heavy on the servers. Yes, there'll be a limit to things probably on the console side for sure, but like most of it's happening on the server side. That's why this has to happen for us first before custom servers, because the biggest cost is memory, and what's going to chew up cycles, right? Or if you've got a lot of cycles, you need more memory to go along with the CPU time. But they already said the most costly thing they have is memory, not CPU. For like the server grades and stuff. It says Razor hit me up on Discord, Duncan Shelley. What? So like already you can see in this configuration, just adding a switch here and having this split, we stop all bleed and we're starting to accumulate more power. But you can already start to see like, okay, after all of this, if I look at my yellow line, like after this is subtracted, we're only technically getting 17 charge on a good part of the day. So you're really like, okay, really what I need now is another source of power. So if we have this initially, I'm sure we'll get this at some point. This one came in not right away, but it was pretty close. This is not a bad option either. If you need to start speed charging your I was going to say server. If you need to start speed charging your battery, hello, this can be a good option. See, I didn't think ahead on this. What I should have done was put this down here. Yeah, let's maybe just, hold on. Does that make sense? He wants to get me to New World. Do it, bitch. And then we'll keep this one on the top, and then we'll rewire this real fast. It's kind of what we did last time, but hopefully this explanation's a little bit better. Okay, so all of this fancy stuff. Okay, so from this side. Alright, let's make this go upstairs. We'll just have it go through the roof because this might be easier for us to understand down here. Just know, I wouldn't typically keep the wires pointing to where the goods are at, but like we're just doing it for understanding right now. Always hide your wires when you're talking about exterior. And then this one will go upstairs. These are our solar panels. And really, I should have built this from the get-go for expandability, and that's my bad. Should have done that. I'm bad, kid. My recoil's bad. My building's bad. Oh, man. Building's okay. My recoil, my shooting, not great. Okay, so what's happening here? Hopefully this makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't. So these two red lines that come down to the solar panels, it hits this root combiner. This root combiner will take that output and throw it to the bottom of this one. So what we can do is I can take from this root combiner and bring it out to this little dude here, which is the power, or I was gonna say power generator. It's a small generator. Hello. And we even have room for another power generator, small generator. Hello. Which is good. So what this is going to do is if you have low grade and you run this, you're going to get 40 units of power and then whatever's going on outside. So right now our combined power outside during the middle of the day is 23 units of power week. What we can do to boost this now is, now we have 63. So now if we look at the yellow line, which should represent what our actual charge is on the battery, is now 60 even. So now this is going up much faster. And we can actively run a lot more things because we have this running. But just remember, this is temporary because this isn't like you're burning low grade. But what you could do is you're like, hey, it seems like the early morning or even late afternoon is the best way to get power out of this. So you can even add more solar panels if you wanted to. Look, I'm gonna have to do this because I'm such a freak. Now I'm getting anal with the wire management. Mr. Russo loves it though, I know he does. New World's dope if you like that kind of game. If you're into like MMO stuff, it's fun. You know what server, right? I gave you all the info, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I sent it to you. So now, at the later half of the day, so technically, what time of day are we right now? So if we're like 1600-ish, we should get more pull for the afternoon. So hopefully, now we have 3 solar panels going in here. We have a, I was going to say power generator, small generator, gas power generator, pumping 40. So now we should have a whopping 74. And then the output actually going to our battery is now 71, which is it's so much better. By the way, the maximum power you can put in here before it's wasted is 200. So when your power, if you're using medium batteries, if your power in is over 200, then pipe it somewhere else because you're wasting extra resources. Does that make sense, or was that super deep? Chat, let me know. I kind of like having a generator on the grid like this because then you can turn it on when you really, really need to. It makes it a bit better. Here, let me turn off the marching ants. It looks crazy like this. Hopefully the colors help. And then this is with the marching ants on to show you the power flow. Let me crouch. There we go. Is that better? The red is the power coming down from the ceiling and from the power generator, small generator. And then remember, after everything's kind of calculated there off the branch, our real charge line is really the yellow line coming down. What's up? It says, can you show how to power a turret? I really don't know anything. I'm trying to learn it before it comes to console. XD Greasy. Beautiful, my guy. Beautiful. Well, let me know as I'm going through this if it helps. Or if you need anything else explained better. And so, like, none of the circuits technically, well, I guess we have the blue line over here is actually still calculating the light situation. So that's why we have that bleed. We have a 3-point bleed. But we got a decent amount of power going to this medium battery. If we turn this on, now we have 66 going to the battery. technically we have 68. But see, here's the thing. Even if we put a light switch here on top of the blue line, we would still be wasting 3 units of power, because the thing with branches, whatever's going off to the left plus the branch is always going to be consumed. So like if this is set to like 15, you're going to be always burning 16 units of power. So you got to be careful. Typically you want the branches to be further down the line, because you always want your main power to be operated, your battery operated power, to always be controlled by a switch, so you can stop any kind of bleed, unless you have critical circuits that like operate when battery backups come on, or certain turret states. Like, yes, you always need those to be on, but like you always want to stop the bleed on your battery, because it gives you less capacity. The wires is so sexy, by the way. You like that? We're trying to do it for understanding this time, so like it's kind of grouped. I feel like maybe we could group this a little bit better, but this circuit not only does automatic lights like this, so now we're going to go to almost evening. So what's going to happen here, well, technically it's never going to go on, because this is actually on. And this is off. Watch. As soon as these go off, this blocker that's blocking power is going to go... Oh wait, I'm stupid. Hold on. Hold on. Bad example, boys. Bad example. Okay, so the blocker is currently being blocked. You see how we had like a little bit of power for a second? Watch, when it gets darker, it'll cut out completely. Now this is on. So that's automatic light switch. But if we don't want any of that to be on, we can also shut this off. Because look, our burn right now is 9. With the automatic switch on, because nothing's coming in, we have no burn. So if you don't want the lights on, you don't want to be burning 9 units of power, 6 units of power. Is it 9? Holy shit, that's a lot. Oh, yeah, because we have a bunch of lights. So like, if you're like, hey, I like the 57 minutes, but like we need to have more control over our, we don't want to have that kind of burn, we need our turrets to be on, you can always shut this off for the night so you can charge better. And nighttime is roughly 10 minutes. So like, what is our operating cost for lights right now for the nighttime with no power in is 1.5 hours. I'm sorry, 57 minutes. But watch how it goes down. So we're using 9, 57 minutes, 56. Now with the turret on and all of the components, we're looking at a 20 unit burn, and this can only run for 25 minutes. So you can run the turrets all night and have a little bit left over, but you're burning a lot. So our active usage at nighttime is 20. So during the day, we need to push more than 20 to make sure we're actually putting more in. So you can start to see just the simple math that you want to do to make sure that you've got a gain. Because realistically, you're not going to have a bunch of options. Like these are expensive. You don't always get these as a roll. And if you have to buy them, they're pricey, right? Or if you have to build them, they're pricey. So you want to make sure you're using the most of what you got. Again, the main reason why I'm always saying, as soon as you get a battery, charge that bitch. Even if it's slow, start the charge. Even if you don't know what you're going to do with it, start the charge. What's up, Off-Road? Says, how late did windmills come into PC? I want to say it was right away when power came out with solar panels and I think windmills. Ooh, wait, no. I think it was like, maybe it was windmills and then solar panels came later. If it was only a month. I'll have to go back and check. They were so close to each other, it might as well have been at the same time, if not the same time. So already you can see, like with the turret on, it's burning a lot. The turret's off, we're using less. Now we have 53 units of runtime with the lights, but if you're like, hey, we're going to go farming somewhere, just shut off the lights. Now you're not burning anything. If it's daytime, power goes back on. This circuit's now active, so you're burning 3 off the top. So now we have, what, 20? So we have 17 going over here. So now we have 17 units charging. If it's midday, which I guess it is, I'm sorry, later, because we have the extra solar panel on the back, we should get more on the input, right? 25. 33. Look at us. That's pretty damn good. Look at that. Around 1600, we get pretty good juice. So you can start to see like having 2 panels facing in the afternoon and 2 panels facing for the morning are really ideal. So 4 solar panels are really good to get you started. Like this configuration is dope. I'm trying to show you like as a broke bee how you're gonna kind of set it up as you go. Says, can you pick up batteries? And if so, does the charge stay in it? Good question. It should. If they don't include that initially, that's definitely the functionality that they will be shooting for. I would imagine that they're going to keep that in. Or keep it going. Okay, let me show you the turret setup. Yeah. Any questions, boys? And even if they don't give us the functionality to like pick up and keep the charge, it's going to come in. But either way, you still want your batteries charged. It was like, we weren't able to pick up a charged battery, I think, for like 8 or 9 months after the initial power came out. It was a while. Yeah, like if I pick this up, actually, I think we have another battery we could probably pick up for the example. Probably this one. Okay, so like this one probably has a full charge or close to it. There you go, 8,000. What can I get rid of here? So you'll notice this is the one we picked up. We have the charge. It shows you what it is there. This is why whenever you pick it up, you have a little bit of durability. Don't stick it on a repair bench because you'll have a red line there. The first thing you want to do is when you place it, you want to fix it. And it should only take high quality if it's at a certain level. Yep, high quality. And then that's it. If it goes lower, it's going to take a piece of tech trash. It's kind of like the garage doors where if you get it first, it only costs metal fragments, but if it's low enough, it's going to cost you metal fragments and a gear. So this one's back to, you know, its charge is still the same. Yeah, because the things with batteries are they're going to take a piece of tech trash. And as you know, that's a valuable item. So like if this battery were fully charged, you would pick it up and place its next one down and just hook up the leads and, you know, just keep going. You will always find a use for a charged battery. Okay, XD Greasy was asking how to plug in a turret. Alright, let's walk through this one and see if it helps, if I can talk through it. Ooh, this one's going to look a little complicated because we added all this extra functionality. Let's see if we can just put... We just had this last time, right? So for one basic turret, I mean, yes, you could just take it from a battery and just plug it in the back and like have a switch from the battery and then have it go to the turret itself. But it's important to kind of know where the rest of the power is coming from, because if you just take a normal battery and put it down, it's going to run for less than like 12 minutes. It's not a lot. So again, we have 4 solar panels, 2 facing for the morning, 2 facing for the evening. It's been enough. We have it all combined here. It's been enough to charge the battery at a fairly decent rate. We have 3,500 rust watt minutes out of 9,000. And now we can actively turn this switch on, which is using 10 units of power, and the switch is using 1, so it's 11. And now we have 5.5 hours of runtime, roughly. You can see that right there. It's actually going to go up a little bit in time because it's during the day. But if this were to be at nighttime, that would be a flat out, like... See how it's not going down? It's like counting down. 5 hours, 25 minutes, 5 hours, 24 minutes. It's going down because there's no input. There's nothing coming on the solar panels. So you can already start to see with one turret, you only have 5.5 hours of runtime. Yep. Keeping your stuff on all the time just ain't a thing. If you turn this off, you have no bleed because this green line is going up to a switch. And this switch stops all bleed, so even the switch itself is not going to use any power until it's on. So this 10 units of power and this switch aren't using anything because it's not on. But as soon as I turn this on, we're going to have 11. And you instantly have a timer on there. And our maximum output for one battery is 50, so we're using a little bit over 1/4 of the battery's capacity with one turret. What about large batteries? Yeah, you can pick them up. And they also hold a charge. Large batteries have a different... Hold on. What were we doing? Oh, yeah, large battery. So again, remember the limitations on this. We have 9,000 rust watt minutes of runtime, 50 maximum output, and the maximum amount of power you can stick in before it starts to get wasted is 200 units of power. So with wind turbines or even a lot of solar panels, if you kind of put too much in there, it's a waste. So another reason why you want to get your windmills under control, your solar panels under control. Again, there's pros and cons to each. You have to kind of know which each one is. Does that answer your question on like turret setup, Greasy, or do you need more in depth? It's totally cool if I fucked it up and I need to talk about it again. It says thank you. I'm wet now. Says Jay Russo. Off-road says good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, you said that a while ago. But still, good morning. Okay, so that maximum output is there. With a large battery, you can see it's much larger. It always does that, right? It looks like the face is supposed to be there, right? That's actually the face. Okay, with this one, your maximum capacity is 24,000. Let me get on the dark side. There you go. 24,000 rust watt minutes, and its maximum output is 100 units. And what is it? 4 times its input. So the maximum amount of power you can stick in here before it's wasted is 400. So as you're doing your root combiners, if it's over a 400, then you need to pipe it somewhere else or it's being wasted. So it's okay. I'm just still getting things in my brain. No, it's all good. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing it. Cause I remember this is rough at first, man. Not rough, but it's just so different. You're like, what? Yeah, Rissa, did you like that short I sent you? That guy got done extremely dirty by Rust. Yeah, so like even a simple turret, like it looks crazy right here, but like that's what you need for the infrastructure. Like yes, these cables on the ceiling look wild, but it's only to hide the cables that come in here. It's really, I kind of just connect these cables and stick them where the feet are, and then pipe them through the ceiling. And you can see like we have 1 panel and 2 panels facing the morning sun. And then, 1, 2 panels facing the afternoon sun. So no matter what during the day, you should have 2 panels facing at optimal areas. So it's usually enough to get this going. And yeah, I always say stick a switch, no matter what your circuit is out of your battery, always stick a switch. But also, if you've got more complex stuff here, but before your turret goes out, like stick another switch, because in order to fill this bitch up, like you can't access the inventory on this when it's on. See what I mean? I got nothing. If it's off, you can fill it up. Ding, 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 ding. Or, more importantly, authorize so you don't kill your teammates. Because nothing sucks worse than having this pipe through your base where you had to open doors, close things, and it's connected directly. And then when you have to reload it, you have to go back, cut it, get a wire cable, a wire tool, cut it, fill it, and then go back through your base and rewire it. It's just better to do that. And same thing with authorizing. To help a little bit, XD, Greasy. Anything else you want me to touch base on? I am more than happy to do so. Or more clarification for this? It's wild, dude. Like, just this simple setup is kind of nutty. I'll turn that off so you can see it. I think it is. I've been doing this for more than a few years now, and I'm still looking at this and go, what the... Oh, yeah. We're going to have more, like, specific examples, too, throughout the weeks coming up. So how many turrets can you have for one battery? Well, it goes back to capacity. This can support 50, but remember, each component can take 1 unit of power or more. So if you have more complex circuitry like this, that comes off of your battery, then this will use 1, this will use a lot more than 1, this will use 1. So realistically, you can do 4 turrets, and then you have some room for some electronics, that the extra 10 units of power. Because remember, each turret uses 10, so if you have 4, that's 40. So you have 10 units of power left. It gives you room for your circuitry. And you almost positively need that much, because you can't just do 5, because you would need something to split up the current 5 ways. And you would instantly use even 1 unit of power. You would be under 50. So you can realistically do 4, and then keep your circuitry tight. And that's your 10 units of power you have for room. 50 hours. Now, for a large battery, you can have probably 9, realistically. And then you've got 10 for the headroom. Yeah, so you can start to see the restrictions you have on just building turrets. Pretty wild, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Says, yeah, it makes sense. Dope. And like, you understand that, but then you start to implement the turrets, and you're like, oh wait, like, it's crazy. For sure. It's crazy. Alright, so check this out. A little bit of extra here. We kind of go back to the door controller thought. A little something to get your brain going. Okay, so door controllers here map to this, and door controllers work for everything that is an openable door. Remember our little trap here? Oh wait, I picked up the battery like a dummy. Hold on a second. It's like, hey, remember this thing that I just broke? I do. As soon as I powered up, I heard it open. Is that crazy? The power is completely off, but because this pressure pad under here generates power and it hit the memory cell, it still set its condition. Is that wild to you? It should be. We have a pressure pad under the rug, and it opens all these doors. So, those door controllers open all those doors together. You can daisy chain them together, but they can also open ladder hatches. It's also a good trap, because look, now you can't get through the door. And a lot of people don't really look up. And what's really cool, too, is if you have one of those wooden locks, they'll still work for somebody who's not authorized if it's being opened by a door controller. Notice I opened it this time. Now I open it. Now it's open. Now I can shut it. If it's open, then I do this and then close it. Then it closes. The door controller is smart. It's smart, dog. It's smart. So yeah, I know all this is spread out, but you can really condense this all into one square or half of a square. Use the wall. I try to make this one more realistic, where you would bring those branches inside. I'm sorry, not branches. The root combiners, the red boxes, the red rectangles. I do like to stick those in. A lot of times I'll stick the root combiners on the ceiling and then kind of bring the mainline power down. So in our case, our circuitry kind of starts with this branch, really. So I would have all these other not branches, the root combiners on the ceiling by the solar panels to kind of combine everything, and then the main line would be this, kind of going into this here. That's how I choose to organize it. You can do it any way you want. But just for organization, I kind of like to do that. Having a closet for your utility stuff is nice. I like having a wall you can kind of operate out of and see what's going on. And control things from there. Says I'm probably not going to get to use electricity as a solo. Oh, you'll use it. Let's put it this way. We'll have like, a bunch of builds and stuff to like help you throw up builds. Even if you don't want to understand this, I'll have like easy layouts where you go, okay, connect the blue wire to this and this, that, and set up your boxes here and make it pretty easy. And then to what surprise, like if a Zerg came by your base and you're like fortified enough, but like you're all like compact and built small, to their surprise when they open it up and you just spray them down in a way like they would just get hosed, right? If they open up and you can spray them down with all these turrets and stuff internally, see you later. A lot of times a good way to set this up is you have a charged battery and you have something that activates, so when somebody comes into your base, the turrets will turn on, or if something gets cut somewhere, it'll automatically turn on the turrets and run off the battery. Says, however, I find the mechanics interesting. I think at first it'll be a little scary, but once you experiment with it a little bit, you'll go, oh, I think I can use this, and then you'll start to use it during a wipe and go, oh, it's not too bad, because even if you don't want to understand this, which is totally fine, I get that, if you just use like one of my builds, tutorials we'll have out there, some of the tutorials we've already shot, where it's like a basic layout, you can just copy that and get the functionality. And you're like, I don't need to know how this works, I just need to know that the red goes here, the blue goes here, and the switch here turns on the turrets. Like I want to make it that easy as well, but also for the people that want to understand it, we'll have videos that like fully go through and explain why it is the way it is, so you can make adjustments. But I fully get like, you're like, hey, if I copy this, can I get this functionality? I get that too, because sometimes you don't have the time or even the inclination to want to learn some of this, because this is pretty wild shit. I get that. Bam. Well, we're at 3 hours. I think we covered a good swath of information. Yes? By all means, feel free to put more questions down here on the comments when it gets posted as a video automatically. And especially in our next live stream for sure. Gonna be doing it up. We might do a little bit of New World later on tonight. I'm not sure. It is about 9:30ish. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing a lot more of these throughout the week and coming weeks before and during Power Surge, so don't you worry. Good questions tonight, gentlemen. Good questions. Where did our vote go? 38 votes said, if there was a hazmat skin on console, would you buy it? 84% said yes. 5% said nah, and 11% said all I want is a burger. Fair enough. All right, gentlemen. Well, I shall see you in the next one. If New World's going to be a stream, I'll probably post a time here in like 30 minutes or less. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Love your bush. Science.